none of your films you've had a conventional villain, you know.
Yeah.
There's never been a dark side to your films.
Yeah.
Was it a conscious attempt to avoid that, or it's
No,
not your
it
style?
never
What is
was
it like?
actually. I've had actually. I don't believe in absolute villains. You know, I don't think people are human beings. Like I think what Goethe, the great German writer, said. I can't think of any crime that I wouldn't commit. You know,
Right.
so human beings are capable of the worst and the best also. And when we look at somebody and say how can he do it, it's because he or she do it. It's because probably we were not in that situation, or because we were not brought up in that scenario, and we were not subjected to those conditions because of which they're acting like that. So instead of being judgmental as an artist and a filmmaker, you should try to understand, you know, what the scenario is in which they had to do what they did. So I have never believed in all my films the villains have a human side to them.
True.
And the complex conditions in which they became what they became is always interests me. And physical violence bores me immensely. You know, sex and violence bore me on screen, because I think both of them are. They're very thin. The line is very thin. They can be very exploitative, very titillating, and very sensory. Or if you do it well, they can be very enriching. So either sex or violence, I feel, has to be handled very responsibly by the filmmaker. So when I do an action sequence in this film, there are a couple of action sequences. I make sure that it makes perfect sense in terms of plot and the characterization and all that. So when I wanted to do a darker shade, for me the human side was more interesting, and that's what attracted me to this story. And I think people will see that. Yeah, I believed always that in depicting human frailties rather than stereotypical images of human beings, either it's villains or heroines, or so this is another attempt in that direction, and I hope the audiences will like it. Yeah.
Now the film's promotional campaign has been around, is he a hero or a villain? Right?
Yeah.
I interviewed Nani a few days back, and he refused to
Yeah, I think that's,
reveal anything.
Yeah.
My question is, does the film deal with the duality of human nature? You know,
it does. It does in an interesting way, not in a, as I said, not in a stereotypical way, or not in an on the nose way. It deals with it in an entertaining but a meaningful way. I mean, I don't like making films that try to suck up to the audience, like try to plead with the audience to say please like my film. I always try to challenge them as much as I can in a very nice way, invite their participation. All my films I've tried to do that, irrespective of the degree of success. In this film there is more scope to do that. I always believe that cinema fundamentally is an interactive medium. It's not a medium of somebody pontificating, on screen. So audience should participate. They should feel they should empathize with the protagonist or any other character in the film. So in that way, it does very much deal with exactly the frailties of human beings and how, under what circumstances people have to do certain things. So both the good people and the bad people in the film have their own reasons to do what they do. But are we making a moral judgment, and are we making an ethical judgment? There's a difference between the two. That's what the film is all about for me. And certain things I always like to leave to the audiences, and instead of manipulating their responses, it's better to leave it to them and in a nice way, so that when I'm going back home, I should have something to talk about the film.
If I were to ask you, what is the theme that the film deals with, what would your answer be?
My answer would be, it deals with broadly with love, with see, one of the nowadays certain things have become unfashionable, but I do feel that values like sacrifice, when you deal with them in an unsentimental way, are still valuable.